because the truth is, the bulk of my volunteer, a high proportion of my volunteer time has been with River Arts. I will say mostly because it needed it. I was the president of the Arts League at the time that the president of Artworks and I got together to talk about merging, and so there was a lot of work to be done in merging. Neither of us had had experience with doing a merger, so we needed to call on a lot of folks in the community, and of course we had this new organization, River Arts, has gotten such great community support. I mean, it just wasn't going to make it without it, but it really, I think it's just striking how many folks have really come out to cheer us on, to support us. And so the merger took a lot of time. Just creating a new organization takes a lot of time. And as you know, we weren't able to hire an executive director until just in January, which meant that the beleaguered board was also taking on the staffing roles. So I think that it was quite a commitment of time and perhaps an overcommitment of time. I'd like to balance that out a little bit more with some of my other interests, but it definitely needed it, deserved it, and I'm just thrilled with where we are today. When I first moved in, it probably was in the 70s that that my grandparents were still alive, and that I was last in Chestertown. I think the first segue into being interested in the town was really how little things had changed on the civil rights side. And when I asked folks about why is there still such segregation downtown when it's not geographic, and times have certainly changed, and I think I didn't expect to see that, and I didn't get answers that I thought were the full story. So that got me involved in starting a collection of oral histories of local African Americans that grew up in Kent County. So that might have been my very first interest. I loved that project. The first 11 folks that I interviewed, it was hard to, because I was new in town and didn't have connections per se, it was really hard to get that first interview. So it took me a while to build up enough trust for somebody to be willing to let me interview them. And then that resulted in them recommending somebody else to me and introducing them to me. And so finally we got through the 11 and more since then. But I was so impressed by the stories of the folks I interviewed. I was so impressed by their strength, their resourcefulness, their graciousness, and what they have gone through is just something we all should be paying attention to. River Arts, or the Arts League, and then River Arts right after that, I think that took me to being involved in the larger picture of the arts scene. That probably was my entree into the Greater Chestertown Initiative when Carla was leading that at Margot Bailey's request. And Carla was asked to chair a smaller group of the arts-interested organizations. We very soon realized the arts organizations needed to collaborate with the rest of the nonprofits in town and the historical society and the environmental organizations and the businesses to really make a difference. So and that's where we are today, and it's a very loose affiliation of these organizations. Frankly, you can be, like I am, president of River Arts and not be speaking for the River Arts Board. So we don't speak for our organizations in that way, but we do plan together. We try to avoid conflicts. We try to see where we can get some economy of scale going. We're trying to, as a group right now, we're trying to develop some more tourist weekends. And we're trying to develop a better system of collecting the data to make the case that nonprofits, arts organizations, these kinds of organizations do really impact economically our town. So we're working hard on what are those metrics? What are we looking for in terms of data? How can we get that data so we can make the case that we are expanding our First Friday? We have been so successful in this town with First Friday, so successful that there's really too much to do. And I, for one, who feel a little obligated to be at River Arts, am constantly disappointed I'm missing this, and this. So I think a lot of people are feeling that way. We wanted to capitalize on that, so the Greater Chestertown Initiative was decided to go with a First Friday weekend. We decided to go with a whole weekend, so we're now trying to develop activities starting the first Friday weekend in September, when we already have the Jazz Fest going on Saturday. So we're trying to open on Saturdays with some activities, stay open a little bit later, because as you know, the town's a little bit dead on Saturday nights. And then on Sunday to open again with some activities. So we've been working on just how we capitalize on the really nice activities we have going on First Friday. We want a community that accommodates, that is accessible to all of our community. We are not hitting that mark. We hope Kids Spot will help with that. We are now open on Saturdays from 10 to 2, free of charge to all kids to come in our hands-on arts center. And I shouldn't even say art center. In our hands-on creativity center is what we call it, because we're not trying to limit to visual arts or crafts. We really want to promote creativity and problem-solving skills, and that cuts across all disciplines. And so we're very much enamored of the Sandbox grant, and we like to think of ourselves as the Sandbox Junior, and we are looking for sandstorms, if you're familiar with the Sandbox grant. We're looking for ways to have kids use all of their creativity to deal with real-world problems, and I think that's what we need in our community, and we need to see our Kids Spot filled with kids of all economic levels and all races and all whatever. I mean, we need this downtown community needs to be more welcoming, and it's probably more than just an attitude. It needs to reach out in ways that we haven't before to ensure that we have our whole community represented. Really, well, First Friday is a perfect example of not getting all of our community in town, and we have all kinds of great activities. I don't know if that's a marketing thing, it's a comfort level thing, I'm not quite sure. I think we have to go at it in a lot of different directions. And I think we are. I think we are making some progress there, but boy, do we have a lot of